Welcome to Wired Lotus's YouTube channel. I'm Susan Barzacchini, and I'm glad that you're here today to learn how to create the herringbone dangle earring. This lesson will be useful information for my upcoming Bejeweled Herringbone Weave ring class. So, before we get started, I'd like to familiarize you with the tools and the supplies we're going to need for this project. The first thing that we're going to need is around nose pliers, chain nose pliers, flush cutters, a ruler, permanent marker, 2 head pins, 2 top and bottom drilled leaf beads. My beads are about 10 millimeters by about 11 millimeters. You're going to need 2 3mm pearls, 2 ear wires, 2 10mm beads, and if you notice, my beads do have kind of a large hole. You're going to want to make sure that your bead will be able to be threaded on a 20 gauge wire. So you do need a bead with a little bit of a larger hole. Some beads, a 20 gauge wire will not fit on those. The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need 2 lengths of 20 gauge round wire, and that's going to, each of these are going to need to be 50 centimeters long. Now, all the supplies that I've just talked about, that's for making 2 earrings. My directions are going to be for only making 1 earring. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to begin by making a dangle using a secure wire loop. I have another video on how to make a secure loop, and I'll share that link with you in the description down below. We're going to thread the leaf onto the head pin. I do that by putting that leaf pointed side down onto the head pin, and I slide it down. Then I put my 3mm pearl on, and I let that slide down. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to just show you something here. I'm going to bring just the tip of those chain nose pliers right up there near that bead, and I'm going to be going, I would say about 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters from that bead, and then I'm going to bend at a right degree angle. And the reason why I want to do that is because I'm getting ready to create that loop. Now I've got my pliers marked, and the reason why I mark my pliers is so that each one of the loops can be the same size. So I'm bringing my pliers right where that mark is at the corner of that wire, and I'm going to bring that up and around and over, and then I'm going to open up my pliers and swing that to the top, making sure that I keep my wire there on that mark. Let me go ahead, and I'm just going to zoom up on that just a little bit so you can really see what's going on. Now, once I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my wire over to the other side. I've now created a loop. Okay, I can go ahead and I can let go, and I'm going to just grasp this chain nose pliers, and I'm going to create 1, 2, 3 coils, and I can go ahead and I can cut now. I cut using the flush side or the flat side of my wire cutter, and I come in here at an angle and I cut that off nice and clean. Now I want that loop to be nice and straight up and down. It is not, so what we're going to do is we're going to grasp this, and we're just going to kind of level that off, and I'm going to come in with my chain nose pliers and just do like that. There we go. Let's begin making the herringbone base. I also call this the backbone. What we're going to need for that is that we're going to need the chain nose pliers, the round nose pliers, and the cutters. We're going to need our large bead, our focal bead, a ruler, permanent marker, and we're going to need our 1 length 50 centimeters 20 gauge dead soft round wire. We're going to start off by marking our wire at the end 10 centimeters. So I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to mark this at 10 centimeters. Actually, I've already marked it, but just wanted to show you this, what the act of this looked like. Here we go. So now we've marked that at 10 centimeters. We'll set our ruler aside for now. Right where that mark is, I'm going to bend it 90 degrees. I'm going to bring my round nose pliers in where I had marked them previously, and I'm going to create a loop that's approximately 4 millimeters outside diameter. And we're going to bring our wire loop over to the other side. What we're creating kind of looks like a person. The head, the body, the arm. And now we can go ahead and we can let go. What we're going to do now is we're going to insert our dangle that we made previously here into the loop. I need to just spread open that loop just a little bit so it goes in there. And I am going to grasp that loop that I just created, and I'm going to coil 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. We have 9 nice coils there. Okay, now we're ready to cut. We can go ahead and cut the short end of the wire, but not the long end of the wire. Okay, so make sure that you clip this only here on the short end, and I put my finger there, I retain it so that it doesn't fly off, and I just give that a little pinch there. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to measure our coils here, and our coils look like they measure about, I'd say about close to about 7 millimeters. So that's about right. That's about where we need to be. So the reason why I measure the coil is because we need to coil on the other side, and we need the coiling to be the same. So I'm going to insert that 10 millimeter bead. All right, and now I'm going to measure that 7 millimeters on the other side. That's what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to bring, and I'm going to take that measurement from the bead to that 7 millimeters. So from the bead, I'm starting at the 1, so just in case you want to know what I'm doing. And I do like to charge up my marker by scratching the surface with a little bit of paper first. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to go at about 7 millimeters right there. And now I'm going to bring in my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to bend there at 90-degree angle. And sorry, I hope that doesn't make you dizzy. I'm going to bring in my pliers just like I did before, right there on my mark. And I'm going to bring that long wire end up and over. Can't go any further because barrel's in the way. So I need to open, pivot, grasp it again, and swing it over to the other side. Again, I want that to kind of look like the person, the head, the body, and the arm. Now I can release that. I'm going to bring in my chain nose pliers, hold on to that loop, and we are going to do 9 more. 1, 2, 9 more coils. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this one had a few more gaps on the other side, and I'm okay with that because the gaps will be hidden. And I didn't quite get up to 9 there, but the gaps are going to be taking that space. I probably can fit 1 more in there. I fit that 1 more in, and I want to compress that. I don't want that sticking up, so I'm just compressing that with my chain nose pliers. So I have what looks like this right here. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and we're ready to start our herringbone weave. This is what I would consider the backbone of this weave. Now for the fun part, we're going to create the herringbone weave. We have all this wire here left over. We have our dangle on, and our bead is just waiting to be framed with the herringbone. When I do this, I like to make sure that my herringbone weave starts with my circle or my loop laying in this orientation. I'm going to start off by creating a frame. And the way that I do that, I bring my wire to the other side. I'm framing that bead. And if you notice, I'm bringing that wire to the top, not underneath, but to the top of the other side of the backbone. So remember, again, this is our backbone here, and now we're creating the herringbone. So I'm bringing that to the other side. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to hold on here to all this backbone here and the bead, and I'm just taking a look. I'm making sure that I'm really happy with that frame. I'm pulling pretty tightly because I don't want that to have any gaps in it, and I'm going to bring that wire. It's remaining on top. I'm bringing it under now, and I'm bringing it to the other side. You've got a lot of wire you're dealing with here. Okay, just brought it over there to the other side. Now we can go ahead and we can bring that wire on top again. It's like you're creating this coil. It's on top there. There we go. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit because I notice sometimes when I get up close, I come out of the frame. Now we need to create the other side of the frame. So notice, if you will, how that is very all nice and compact, and that frames that bead beautifully. So we're coming over to the other side here with our wire, and we're framing the other side. Now, I'm noticing that as I'm creating this wire is a little bit squared off and a little bit strange. So what I do is I first of all take my fingernail and I just kind of create kind of that pretty circle. And now I'm bringing that wire around the loop, kind of holding it down so that it stays right on the bead there, if you notice. And where am I putting that wire? Right on top again. This is going to be something that's going to be really important to remember. Every time you go to the other side, you're going to start your coil from top, around, to top again. So I've got that wire to the other side, and I'm going to go underneath. As I'm doing this, notice how I'm pushing in here with my thumb, and then over and on top again. Okay, so now we have the first layer of our herringbone done. What I'm going to do is now show you the second layer. To do the second layer, we need to go underneath the first layer. So we're going to bring this wire underneath that first layer that we created, and we are going to go, you guessed it, on top again. And this time we want to make sure that we are going just a little bit out, you know, just a little lateral or outside where we did our last coil. So we're going underneath and on top now. Now we're going to create another coil. Top, around, and on top again. Are you sensing a little pattern here? Okay, so when I notice that whenever I do this, I find that I'm always straightening my wire. So now we're going to come around to the other side, and the same thing. We're going to just bring that wire underneath. I'm going to show you up close with this one. To the other side. I'm going to compress that as much as I can there with my fingernail. And we're going to go on top, around, over, and up again. And stay as close as I can to that coil. Okay, let's come out again. Okay. Now we're going to go and we're going to make a third row. The third row, you guessed it, is going to be underneath the second row. But again, I want to just straighten out my wire a little bit, just get it looking nice and ready to go for the next wrap. Okay, so I'm bringing this down, around, top, under, and now we're going to create a third row on this side. we're going to go underneath the second, then over to the other side. We're shooting for four rows total. So here we are at our fourth row here. So I have 3 on this side and I have 3 on that side. So we're bringing our wire underneath the third row, and I'm coming over here on top, around, over, here we go, and then we're coming to the other side, and we're going to create our fourth row on the other side as well. And I'm kind of compressing that a little bit so that it will go underneath. Goes underneath, top, and for this last one, I'll just kind of roll it until it meets that loop in a nice little coil. So there's some adjustments that need to be made, but let's just go with this for now. Now we can go ahead and we can cut our wire end and cut it towards the back of the piece so that that's not an unsightly end that you need to worry about or you need to see. Let's go ahead and cut that. And let's just kind of finesse everything here. Let's bring our loop in just a little bit more. I'm noticing this loop got kind of crazy. So let's just go ahead and bring this loop so that it is parallel with the other loop. Like this, and then this is like that. You want to make sure everything is all aligned, and there it is, it's aligned. So let's go ahead and put on our ear wire. We're going to open up, I made these ear wires with an ear wire forming lesson that I taught. That's in the YouTube video down below. I'll go ahead and I'll post that link too. It's a pretty fun project. You get to work with wood and with items that you have around the house. So let's go ahead and put the earring on the ear wire. Going to open up that ear wire from front to back using the chain nose pliers, front to back, opening this up, putting this on here, and then we're going to close it from front to back. And there we have it. Our beautiful, beautiful earring, all done in silver and crystal and pearl. Just so beautiful. It's very delicate. These are the earrings. So pretty. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you found any value in this video, please subscribe. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. If you have any questions or if you want to share your successes with me, please put those in the comments because I would really, really like to hear how you all did with this weave. And I'm here for you. Thank you so much. Bye.